What's going on, folks? Avatar here, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about a build that's going to have near constant uptime on overshields, health regeneration, pretty solid damage, whether it's ad clear or even tankier targets like yellow bars or some bosses or mini bosses. So we had to jump on into the exotic Kell's Fall mission to get ourselves a craftable Slayer's Fang. Now let's take a look at this build. First off, taking a look at Slayer's Fang, this Void Shotgun's intrinsic trait is dealing final blows to targets will grant Night Sworn Sight. So during that time, final blows will grant you true sight, reload and precision damage increases, as well as submunitions are going to weaken those targets. But this shotgun is nothing unless it's paired with no backup plans. Reason being is when you have a Void Super equipped, rapid shotgun final blows or defeating powerful combatants with a shotgun are going to grant your Void Overshield, start your health regen, but when you have that Void Overshield active, shotguns will deal an additional damage of a 4x weapon surge. So not only is it going to give you an overshield, refresh the overshield upon shotgun defeats, but you're going to be doing insane damage with it as well. So let's pair this with some artifact perks before we talk about the main build. There's a few key ones here that I really like, and they just came out with the new act. So Old God's Right states after picking up a Void Breach, dealing damage with a Void weapon is going to create a rain of seeking projectiles. A lot of us would have seen this in the Act 3 reveal trailer, thinking it was a part of Slayer's Fang. Unfortunately, it's not. Bungie, do better. But it's a fun perk. You can enhance it too with some tonics, but also pairing it with Void Renewal, because while Devour is active, Void Weapon Final Blows have a chance to generate a Void Breach. So now we all need to do is proc Devour, right? That's where Power from Pain comes in, because rapid final blows against a weakened combatant is going to grant you Devour. And then we're going to use Supernova. So picking up a Void Breach is going to cause your next burst of void damage to create a large weakening pulse. So all four of those right there are going to synergize so well together to just make Slayer's Fang even better, especially since we're pairing it with no backup plans. Now, let's get into our aspects and our fragments. For our aspects, we're going to be going with controlled demolition, because hitting a target with a void ability or volatile explosion is going to make them volatile. And then we're going to be using Bastion for an ease of use to proc an overshield. Whether it's casting our super or casting our barricade, it's going to give us an instant overshield. Also, another way that we're going to get an overshield just to help build into this is with shield throw. So when you throw your shield at a target, it's going to ricochet off targets and surfaces, granting an overshield for each target that you hit. Grenade-wise, entirely up to you, but we're going with Vortex Grenade because I just like the idea of a black hole grenade, pulling enemies in and just making them explode once they become volatile. Super-wise, you can go with whatever super you want. We are opting to go with Ward of Dawn. Obviously, we're not getting anything with Weapons of Light because we're not using Saint's Helmet, but that's okay because we have that 4x surge. So we're using Ward of Dawn solely for its cooldown and its ease of use to get an overshield. Plus, it can help you in a pinch if you really need it. Fragment-wise, this is what is going to wrap everything together with a nice little bow. So, Echo of Cessation. Finishers will create a burst of void energy, damaging them and causing them to become volatile. Defeating void targets creates void breaches. Next, Echo of Persistence. Our void buffs are going to apply and last longer. That's invisibility, overshields, and Devour. With us, it's going to be our overshields and Devour have an increased duration. Next, we are using Echo of Starvation. So picking up a Void Breach or an Orb of Power is what is going to grant us that Devour. And this build is going to have a lot of ways to create those orbs. Finally, we're using Echo of Harvest. Defeating a weakened target creates a Void Breach and, again, a Void of Power, Orb of Power. Another way that we're going to have Orbs of Power in this one. So how else should we wrap this up, right? First off, primary weapon, it doesn't have to be this, but something with attrition orbs just to further build into the orb side of things. We're going with Multi-Mock because it has enhanced attrition orbs and enhanced kinetic tremors. It's really good about trash mobs and cleaning them up, but also creating those orbs of power and sustained damage is utterly fantastic. Obviously, Slayer's Fang is going to be the bread and butter of this. Our heavy weapon of choice, we are going to go with Hammerhead here, only because it's void. You can really use any heavy you want. I find that Void's the most fun, especially something like Hammerhead, because it's good for tankier ads. but also at the same time, it being void, it's going to help proc and kill volatile enemies and just make those explosions. So Hammerhead, easy, get through Onslaught. Multi-Mock, if you want to use it, you can get it through just by going to Banshee and picking it up. Building into the orbs even more, we're going to be using a Void Siphon mod to create orbs of power on Void Rapid Final Blows, or Multi-Final Blows, but also a Kinetic Siphon to create another orb off of our Kinetic Rapid Final Blows. Pairing it with a special finisher is going to help us just keep that higher uptime on having special ammo. For our gauntlets, nothing crazy here. I always use fastball because I hate throwing grenades slow. We're going to be using heavy-handed, so our powered melee final blows create an orb of power. Kind of really it, you know? You can use a Void Harmonic Loader if you want. I use it for the shotgun, but also at the same time our heavier choice since we're going with Void. Next, chest mod. Always use something that matches damage resistance, or even some reserve mods as well if you want to. And then for our leg armor mod, we're doing something a little fun here. We're going to be using Repercussion, is replenishing health every time we pick up an orb of power, and we're going to be generating a ton of those. Easy to pick up an orb of power and just get some health back. Next, we're going to be using a Harmonic Scythe Scavenger for our Void weapon just to get extra ammo when we pick up that special ammo brick. And then we're actually going to be using a Void Weapon Surge. Reason being is for our heavy weapon just to get a little bit more damage out of it. If you don't want to do that, I'd probably recommend going with Better Already or something like Absolution to get all ability cooldowns when you pick up that Orb of Power, or hell, another Scavenger mod. Lastly, let's talk about our class item. Nothing crazy with it. We're going to be using Special Ammo Finisher. That's going to be one of the key ones here. Since we're already building into the special ammo side of things with scavengers and making sure we try to have it as much as possible, let's toss on a Special Ammo Finisher so that way when we get finishers, it will generate special ammo for not just us, but the whole fire team. But at the same time, we're doing that finisher, so it's going to emit a burst of void energy. Can't go wrong with that. Then always, always, always put on Reaper, because after you use your Overshear, your Towering Barricade, your class ability, you're going to create an Orb of Power on your next final blow. Basically, that's this build in a nutshell. Super easy to put together. There will be a dim link down below for this build. And as always, thank you guys for stopping by. If you did enjoy it, feel free to leave a comment down below. Or if you've got a good prismatic build setup with Slayer's Fang and no backup plans, let me know down below, because we're toying with some stuff and we want to see what cool things we can make with it. But until then, Guardians, I'll catch you in the next one.